All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Monday night. It's time for the Urban Conservative Podcast. Democrat narratives are starting to collapse. Let's get it cracking right here on the Urban Conservative, y'all.
Hey, buddy, do you like NASCAR? Do you like A Tribe Called Quest? Well, you gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Welcome to the Urban Conservative Podcast, where we do not believe that avocado toast can save the planet or the world will end, because cars use gasoline. You won't hear that Wi-Fi is a basic human right, or that billionaires are secretly supervillains. Here, we do not believe that electric cars run on hopes and dreams. You also won't hear that anyone who disagrees with us is a fascist, or that socialism will make everyone rich. You won't be gender affirmed or offered any opportunity to share your preferred pronouns. If this causes you any discomfort, please rest assured that we couldn't possibly care less. For everyone else, thank you, and please stand by.
My fellow Americans, it's time for the Urban Conservative Podcast. This is without a doubt the best podcast on the internet. It's about to go down here on the Urban Conservative.
3, 2, 1.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. It's a Monday night, means it's time for the Urban Conservative Podcast. Yours truly, the TUC twins, Abdul Ali, with my twin brother from the same mother, no other, Raheem Soto, in the building. Our mission to share conservative values and principles, as well as the benefits of conservative policies to urban communities across this great nation of ours. We do that via this podcast, and we also be in them streets doing events and actually participating in the political process. I got to make sure that we plug at the very beginning, not your standard run-of-the-mill internet talking head duos, because my twin brother over there is jumping in the arena, running to be your Suffolk County legislator, District 2 legislator this coming year. I can't wait to go up to New York for his campaign kickoff event in a couple of weeks. We'll have more information coming to you all about that. Hopefully you all have had a positive and restful weekend. It's Monday night, so we're going to get into this. We've got a few things that we want to get into this Monday night. Bro, one of the things that and I know because of so much going on with
before you do that, while you were doing the
crash the plane. Yeah.
Local elections, we cannot stress to you guys how important local elections are. We say this over and over and over and over and over and over again. Tomorrow, Tuesday, March 18th, if you are in the town of Southampton, we have a special election tomorrow to fill the vacant council seat. Now, we over here are supporting former Councilman Rick Martel, 50-year community person. Too many accolades to list here because it would take too long, but we're pulling for Rick to win this election tomorrow. We need to get our lone Republican Cindy some help over there on the town board. That's what it is. So tomorrow, town of Southampton, get out, make sure you vote. If you haven't done early voting, if you did do early voting, you cannot go tomorrow and vote. That's a problem. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Even though we know some other folks who have tried that, don't do that. If you did early voting or absentee voting, you cannot vote tomorrow. If you didn't take your behind out and vote yet, tomorrow's the day. All right, get out and vote. Rick Martel for Southampton Town Council. I'll say one more. I'm gonna hit you with my Umar. Rick Martel for Southampton Town Council. Rick Martel for Southampton Town Council. Rick Martel for Southampton Town Council. So yeah, I'm plugged away. Now let's get into the show. Let's get into what we got to get into.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to the show, jump in the comments. As always, let us know where you're watching and or listening from. The Urban and Urban Conservative stands for understanding reality beyond all narratives. And we've witnessed over the last decade or so, the ability of the mainstream media and the radical Democrat Party to spin narratives par excellence, bro. Now, Russia. Like, yo.
Well, listen, and I got to tell you at the outset why these narratives that the mainstream media puts out there is so dangerous. So, for an example, you have people who have emotionalized and internalized the rhetoric to the point where and listen, some of these may be cool people to hang out with, but
Sure.
how it comes across through social media, how it looks when they're posting videos and things of that nature, it looks deranged. It's almost left the realm of logic and reason, because
Sure.
I mean, and I'm sure we're gonna get into it, but we've had posts on our page, and the comment section is just, it's insanity. It's absolute
nutty.
insanity. It
Since
doesn't make
you-
sense.
Since you went there, okay. The first thing I want to get into then, bro, is your man, and I know this wasn't like high up on the list of narratives, right? But I gotta say this because it's near and dear to us.
Okay.
This idea that Don Lemon has kept going off with, saying that black Republicans are not logical. This whole idea that MAGA is racist. And he said this on Bill Maher's program on his podcast. MAGA's racist. The majority of people that wear red hats are racist. The whole movement is racist. That you cannot be a black. He said you could be black and Republican, but you cannot be black and MAGA.
So here's the thing. I've never heard Don Lemon, whatever his name is, call the Crips, the Bloods racist. I've never heard that. They wear red and they kill black people. They almost exclusively kill black people. But I've never heard him say that the blood gangs, right, are racist. How many MAGA people have went out and strung them up some Negroes? I'm just curious. How many have went out and and attempted to kill, unalive someone else? I haven't heard of this. Now, could it have happened? Sure. If you present the evidence to me and it's vetted evidence, I'll accept it, right? I'll accept it, but I haven't heard of MAGAs running
The MAGA
around.
lynchings.
Yeah, I haven't heard of the MAGA lynchings or the MAGA ass whooping handouts. I haven't heard of that.
So to dispel this idea that you cannot be black and MAGA and logical, okay? Here we have before us the soon-to-be next governor of the state of Florida, our good friend Byron Donalds. I just want y'all to know, just tell me if you think this is logical.
Chicago. How much has the city of Chicago spent on illegal immigration?
If you're referring to the 2022 up to 2024 of the buses coming from Texas, roughly the same percentage of the state of Texas, about 1% of our overall budget.
What is that? Because I don't have the city's budget in front of me. Numbers.
It's 1%, and if you want the actual calculation, we can make sure someone...
You're the mayor. You don't have the math in front of you?
It's 1% of the overall budget over the last 4 years.
That's why you're a failing
which
mayor.
is the
Mayor
same
Adams,
number that
how
was
much
sent
does the
from
city
us
of New York
from the
actually
state
spend
of
on
Texas.
illegal immigration? Mayor Johnson, I already asked you. You don't have a hard number. And if you don't have a hard number, you're not running your city well.
Does that sound illogical to you? I just wanted to use that one piece of clip
No,
to point out this idea that you can't be black and Republican and support President Trump, the MAGA movement, and not be logical. So that narrative that Don Lemon just tried to put out there, that's been smashed out. We don't even gotta harp on that narrative anymore. That's a done deal.
Not that we don't have to harp on it, but I want folks to understand something, that that both sides have narratives.
Sure.
Both sides of the aisle, right? Both media outlets, whether it's your Fox News or your CNN, there's a lot of spin with everything, which is our point. We're not blindly suggesting that only the far left and the leftists spin narratives. No, we're not suggesting that. What we're suggesting is that there's a truth underneath all of the narratives. Once we say, well, there's a narrative, what is it? Sometimes the narrative, it stands up, right?
Sometimes it does. Now, because of events as of late and things going on with our government, and because we're January, February, March, 2 months into President Trump's next final term of office here, there's this narrative that's going around that I can't figure out, bro. I just watched the SpaceX rocket take off. I just watched the SpaceX rocket land at the International Space Station.
You did?
I watched the Stage 1 rocket return to the Earth. How is this guy an idiot? How is he stupid? How is this narrative now that all of a sudden Elon is dumb? How does this even get traction?
5 years ago, we have video footage because this, and I gotta tell you,
pulling it up. I'm already pulling it up.
I love that we live in a receipt generation. I used to be resistant to this whole internet thing, and then I'm like, everything has to go on the internet. Why are you guys putting everything on the internet? And now I'm like, make sure it's on the internet so that it doesn't get lost. Right. And the idea that how fast the see, and this is Ali, this is unfair because there are some Democrats who are not with this nonsense. There are some Democrats who are not with where the direction of the party at large is going. There are some common sense Democrats. There are some moderate Democrats. And so we're not talking about you guys. We're not saying all Democrats. But if you're pulling up the video, I think you are, it is just amazing how fast that narrative shifted from he's a visionary. There's no one like him on the planet. He's here to save the planet. I'm with Donald Trump. He's an idiot. A fascist dictator. He's like, wait a minute. What just happened? Like, and how? Are you pulling up some video?
I was gonna pull up the video. I didn't take the video. I actually just did the photo. But what's interesting is sometimes a picture is worth a couple of thousand words. Where's that picture at? Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up. Not the Michelle Obama picture. That's worth a lot of words, but we ain't gonna pull that one up. But the whole point being is that you have, where'd it go? Because it was a video I saw with your man B. Oh, here it goes right here. Let me share my screen. I'll show y'all this picture I got real quick. So this was when your boy Obama absolutely loved Elon Musk. He was the golden boy. He could do no wrong. He's a great guy. We love him. He's the best thing since sliced bread. He's the next Tesla. If there was a generation of this, they said Elon Musk was this generation's Thomas Edison. He's the best thing ever.
He didn't really come up with nothing. It's not him. He's not. He has that. He's an autistic idiot. They're going in on him. They're burning down the Teslas. So here's the funny part about this.
Right.
You guys are climate change freaks who are setting fire. Do I need to finish the sentence?
You do.
Okay. Y'all complain about global warming. You complain about chemicals in the air and then proceed to set a Tesla on fire. You proceed to try to go and ignite a lithium battery or whatever the battery's made of, which is you can't put it out. You know how dangerous the batteries in those things are.
Them lithium ion batteries.
Let's go ahead and light a Tesla on fire. That makes a lot of sense, guys over there. And I got to tell you, it's just very unhinged, man. It's very, very unhinged. But the narrative changed so fast. It was like, I think liberal hive mind did it.
No, here you go.
It's an amazing development that's going on. You got to give a lot of credit to Elon Musk. Elon Musk, he deserves a lot of credit.
Tesla founder Elon Musk says he knows the biggest threat to humanity, and he has a plan.
An immigrant to this country cemented his status as a leader in science and technology whose name may indeed belong alongside those of Edison and Jobs. Put another way, Elon Musk today showed the world how it around.
Come on, bro. So you go from that to this.
This dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I have ever met.
I don't understand, bro.
I asked a Congress friend of mine. I'm not gonna say their name. I asked somebody I know. Is her head really that big in real life? And they declined the answer.
I remember that.
Because it just seems like she has a massive head. Like it looks very dense. Yeah. She looks like a real life emoji. Like
I'm gonna ask some of our congressional friends. I'm gonna see if I can actually get an answer. You may have me go to DC just to measure this lady's head in real life from a distance. Yikes! So here's the thing: you have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
This dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I have ever met.
She had to laugh. Yo, that was the most uncomfortable laugh. That was the most uncomfortable laugh I've ever saw. Because she doesn't believe it. She's like, I gotta convince myself. There's no way she believes that.
So here's what the problem is, right? You have this narrative that's being shot out there. Shouts out to Maggie Sandrock in the building. Shouts out to Miss Maggie. The problem that I have with this is that it's AOC of all people that they're pushing out front to push this narrative that Elon Musk is somehow unintelligent. Now, the problem that I'm going to have, right? The problem that I have with this, and I didn't know I was going to do this, so I'm just going to go to the wiki real quick. I'm going to do it because I want to make sure I'm not tripping on this. Okay. Education. He attended the Waterkloof House Preparatory School, Bryanston High School, and then Pretoria Boys House. That sounds all like South Africa. He was good but unexceptional student, earning a 61 in Afrikaans and a B on his senior math certification. He applied for a Canadian passport through his Canadian-born mother to avoid South Africa's mandatory military service, which would have forced him to participate in the apartheid regime. So wait a minute. I didn't even mean to deal with that narrative that Elon Musk because you hear that on TV all the time. Elon Musk participated in apartheid. Hold on a second. Let's be clear. He got a passport to avoid South Africa's mandatory military service, which would have forced him to participate in the apartheid regime, as well as to ease his path to immigration to the United States. While waiting for his application, he attended the University of Pretoria for 5 months.
Oh, he didn't just sneak in? He didn't just cross the border illegally? Oh, this is a thing. Just something I noticed.
Canada in 1989, connected with a second cousin in Saskatchewan and worked odd jobs, including at a farm and a lumber mill. In 1990, he entered Queen's University in Kingston. 2 years later, he transferred to the University of Pennsylvania, where he studied until 95. Although he said that he earned his degrees in 95, the University of Pennsylvania didn't award them until 97, a Bachelor of Arts in Physics and a Bachelor of Science in Economics from the Wharton School. He reportedly hosted large ticketed house parties to help pay for tuition and wrote a business plan for an electronic book scanning service similar to Google Books. In 94, he held 2 internships in Silicon Valley, one at energy startup Pinnacle Research, which investigated electrolytic supercapacitors for energy storage. I can't even say that.
You just said it. You said it.
I can't say it again. Electrolytic supercapacitor. What is even that for energy storage? And another at Palo Alto.
They just explained it. Capacitors store electricity. So self-explanatory, but go ahead.
Sure. Based on startup rocket science games. In 95, he was accepted to a graduate program in material science at Stanford, but didn't enroll. He decided to join the internet boom, applying for a job at Netscape, to which he reportedly never received a response. The Washington Post reported that Musk lacked legal authorization to remain and work in the U.S. after failing to enroll at Stanford. In response, he said he was allowed to work at that time, and his student visa transitioned to H-1B. According to numerous former business associates and shareholders, Musk said he was a student visa at the time. So him, his brother Kimball, and Greg Corey founded the software company Zip2 with funds borrowed from his pops. They housed the venture in an office in Palo Alto. The company developed and marketed an internet city guide for the newspaper publishing industry with maps, directions, and yellow pages. Come on. X.com and PayPal, SpaceX, Starlink, Tesla, Solar City and Tesla Energy, and then Neuralink. How are we talking about this guy is unintelligent? How is there even a narrative?
What is AOC's qualifications? The most unintelligent billionaire I've ever seen. Let's see what AOC's, and then we'll go to commercial break. If you let us know where you're watching from, get in the comment section. Let us know your thoughts on the subject matter, but let us know where you're watching from as well. Let's just pull up AOC's qualifications. Let's see if she's anywhere near where this guy's at. Go ahead.
Born in New York City, son of Sergio Ocasio-Ramon and Blanco Ocasio-Cortez. She was a younger brother, Gabriel, father, blah, blah, blah. She attended Yorktown High School, graduating in 2007. She went by the name of Sandy Ocasio. She came in second in the microbiology category of the Intel International Science and Engineering Fair in 2007 with a research project on the effect of antioxidants on the lifespan of the nematode Caenorhabditis elegans. In a show of appreciation, the MIT Lincoln Laboratory named a small asteroid after her. In high school, she took part in the National Hispanic Institute's Lorenzo D. Zavala Youth Legislative Session. After graduating, she became the LDZ Secretary of State while attending Boston. Her father died of lung cancer. I'm looking for her degree. Where does it say she earned a degree?
Sans degree, huh?
During college, she was an intern for Ted Kennedy. In interviews, she said she was the only Spanish speaker in the office, the sole person responsible for. She graduated cum laude with a bachelor's degree in international relation and economics. So there you go. She took a job as a bartender and a waitress, a house cleaner and a school bus driver. She later launched Brook Avenue Press, and now
let's stop. Let's just stop right there.
Publishing firm for books that portrayed the Bronx. She also worked for the National Hispanic Institute. So she started one business that failed miserably. That's what you got.
All right, y'all. By a show of number one, who seems to be the more intelligent human being? Based on the information we just put out there, just by a show of ones in the comment section, one for Elon Musk or two for AOC, who appears based on these qualifications and schooling and education, who appears to be the more intelligent person? I guess you're going to take us to commercial break. We're going to come back with the second narrative, but sheesh Louise, not good.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Knock Realty. Knock Realty provides exceptional personal service, superior customer care, while giving back 25% or more of the revenue we earn from the sale of your home to be reinvested into the local community. At Knock Realty, we believe that your care and our community come first and will always be our highest priority. Receive the most personal service when buying or selling your home at a very competitive price while making a positive impact in your community. Knock Realty. Open the door to giving back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to give a massive shout out to the team over at Knock Realty. If you live in the Charlotte and surrounding areas and you are looking to sell your home and to do some good in the community, make sure you reach out to Knock Realty. Shouts out to the whole team over there. This other narrative we're going to deal with real quick, I think is going to be, let's go ahead and deal with that. Because while we were talking about Elon, we also need to talk about this Doge narrative. Okay, this narrative that Doge is somehow set up to steal from you, that Elon Musk wants to take grandma's social security check because he needs your money.
So it should be simple enough to say that Doge has read-only access to payment systems and to other systems. Now, in a logical, rational conversation, it would stop there. They can't write any code into any systems. They have read-only access. That would, when we're talking to rational adult human beings, that should technically be enough, right? It's like somebody getting on your computer and they go, well, I only have read access. I can't write anything. I can't remove anything. I can't edit anything. I can only read what's there. So that would be enough, should be enough to get you to stop. But go ahead.
So here's the thing, right? This idea that Doge is something new, that this is something, what do you call it? earth-shattering, if you will. This is something that has never been heard of before. Listen to your man Barry. All I gotta say is listen to your man Barry. Here you
Everyone
go.
knows that getting rid of the deficit will require some tough decisions. And that includes cutting back on billions of dollars in programs that a lot of people care about. But what should be easy is getting rid of the pointless waste and stupid spending that doesn't benefit anybody. Waste we should be getting rid of, even if we didn't have a deficit. Sure, some of these cuts aren't that big, but no amount of waste is acceptable. Not when it's your money, not at a time when so many Americans are already cutting back. Just as families are living within their means, government should too. Did you know the federal government pays for a website devoted to a folk music ensemble made up of forest rangers? They're called the Fiddlin' Foresters. I'll put their music on my iPod, but I'm not paying for their website. And there are hundreds of similar sites that we should consolidate or just get rid of. By the way, you're not only paying for websites no one needs, you're paying for thousands of buildings all across the country no one uses. For the last decade, the government's owned a massive and completely empty warehouse in the middle of Brooklyn, for example. But we're finally cutting through all that and plan to get rid of these buildings in the months ahead. We need to make government work for you. That's why, starting today, I've asked the Vice President to lead a renewed effort to hunt down misspent tax dollars in every agency and department of this government. We're calling it the Campaign to Cut Waste.
In other words, the Department of Government Efficiency. In other words, you're doging it. So why was it okay when Obama said it, bro? Why was that okay?
Because of his absolutely sycophantic followers who believed he was the second coming of the Lord Jesus Christ himself. People who thought that Barry Obama was Christ incarnate, that he could do no wrong, he could say no wrong, he could walk on water, he could cure the blind and sick, he could raise the dead, he could in fact cure cancer with a single strand of his luxurious, at this point, black hair, which shortly 3 months later was light gray. Anyway, that's why. That's why, because at the end of the day, there's a confusion that I think is taking place. And the confusion is that the people you call MAGAs, the people y'all mistake and think it's about Trump. Y'all really think this is about Trump. And it's really not. It is absolutely not. It is 100% about us. It is about the people. And so, unfortunately, there's a lot of you guys that watch mainstream media. There's a lot of you guys that believe the talking heads on CNN, on CNBC, on Bill Maher, and the rest of these people, because you just do. And it's sad. Go ahead. This is even better. Even better.
Here you go. It gets better.
Not keep our promises on Medicare. We simply must make the cuts in waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicare so that the benefits and the premiums are untouched. We owe it to our seniors. We owe it to our country.
There is an enormous amount of waste and fraud and abuse in this government. When there is waste and fraud, you have an administration who should also be on top of that situation.
If we're going to eliminate the waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicare, it does mean we're going to cut some of that out. And when I hear my friend Dave Camp say you cannot cut money out of Medicare, you can't just get up there and say we don't want to cut anything out of Medicare. We want to cut the bad stuff. And
so we're with this whole narrative that Trump and Elon Musk and Doge is against the people and is somehow shamming the people is absolutely ridiculous. Shouts out to Ari Case Technology in the building. It is a beyond bizarre narrative to have out there. And let's just look on the tail end of this. So far, this is straight from the Doge website. We're looking at estimated savings of $115 billion. That's a combination of asset sales, contract lease cancellations and renegotiation, fraud and improper payment deletion, grant cancellations, interest savings, programmatic changes, regulatory savings, and workforce reductions. Okay. General Service Administration is number one. Number two is Department of Education. Number three is the EPA. How much money did Lee Zeldin just find?
Lots
How
of
much
it.
was that?
You know what's funny though? You know what's absolutely funny? Say the average family, uh, somebody gets demoted at work, somebody loses a job in the household, right? Somebody loses a job in the household. What do you instantly do, Ali? You be like, hey, look like Netflix gotta go. We're gonna go ahead and cancel that Amazon Prime gonna have to go. That DoorDash is looking like that 13 a month. We have to cut that out. So in a household scenario where we need to tighten our belts, we start looking
Right.
at things that we don't need because you technically don't need a DoorDash subscription.
Technically, you could
You
walk to the
technically
store.
you could go pick it up. You don't need Netflix. It's nice to have if you got the extra expendable income to do it.
And for the record, Netflix is like $18 a month now. That's a whole lot.
But what I'm saying is, you start looking at things going, do I really need YouTube Premium this month? I mean, it's only a couple of ads. I can skip them, So my point is that it's irrational, the reaction that the left and the people that are on the left. I feel like some of these people don't actually understand the argument that they're making is insane. Like, it's insane. Let's not curse out, yell, degrade, scream at the people whose hands are in the cookie jar. Let's yell at, degrade, and disrespect the person that goes, hey, what are you doing with your hands in the cookie jar? That's insane to me, bro. That's it. And it's unfortunate because, again, some of these people have no clue and they refuse to look at the facts. They refuse to do any research. You can't get them to go on the Doge website. You can't explain to them, hey, how do you explain Stacey Abrams' money? How do you understand that? How do you explain that pet project? How do you explain how do you explain somebody on a government salary in a few years becoming a multi-millionaire?
On 174 grand a year.
And why are we even paying y'all 174? That's my question. How about we pay teachers? How about we pay teachers more money who have demonstrated the ability to raise test scores? Let's take that money as an incentive to educators. Let's take that money as an incentive for first-time home buyers programs. I'm just saying that. I just throw that out there, just an idea. Go ahead.
Yeah. And last but certainly not least, bro.
Just my thought.
Since you said pet project, you struck my fancy with that because this is a thing. Okay, this is an absolute 1 billion% thing when we're talking about this narrative that Doge is a waste and somehow, some way, Trump was lying about it. Okay, CNN actually had to go back and correct their fact checking because $455,000 was spent on, quote, a mouse model to test the effects of gender-affirming hormone therapy on HIV vaccine-induced immune responses. $2.5 million on the reproductive consequences of steroid hormone administration. Quote, these mice manifest defects in ovarian architecture and have altered folliculogenesis. Gender-affirming testosterone therapy on breast cancer risk and out. This is on mice, mind you. Now, the argument could be made that, we got to do this. We got to check on the mice because they're, that's how we do it with the thing. But they said he said that didn't happen. Right? The narrative was this didn't happen. And
here's my issue. Here's my issue. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I personally don't have a problem with any of those studies. If you want to take your stupid ass into a laboratory and test all of that, thumbs up. Don't use my money, though. I don't want to pay for that. I'm all for research. I think research is an amazing thing. But y'all don't mean to tell me is that money couldn't went for childhood cancer research? That money couldn't have went for looking for a cure for Alzheimer's? That couldn't have went for diabetes awareness prevention material because that is absolutely wiping Black and Latino and white people. It's wiping people out. I don't want to pay for it. You know, I don't think the average person, when you explain this to them, you say, hey, you're going to get a paycheck this week, and out of your paycheck, I'm going to take some money. And what I'm going to do with the money is I'm going to investigate transgender mice. I don't care what side of the political aisle you're on. You are not about to tell me you chipping in on that, bruh. You're not about to tell me you chipping in on that.
Not while that number's ticking up like that. not while that's doing that. Do you understand what's happening, bro? Not while that number is that number. 36 gosh darn trillion, $107,000 of debt per citizen, $300,000 of debt per taxpayer. We got a $2 trillion deficit. Come on. Think about this, bro. While we got that, look at the side. You know, Elon Musk pointed it out. Our interest payments on the national debt are more than we spend on defense, bro. We can't keep this up. This is not sustainable. And the more people like AOC, the more people like Don Lemon, the more people like the cackling hens on The View spew these untrue, non-reality based narratives that Trump and somehow, the economy, doom and gloom, and Trump's going to destroy the economy. No, he's not. If you look at the numbers that are coming in, people are more optimistic about the direction of the country than they've been in a very long time.
Yeah, that optimism poll, CNN, or was it CNBC? Somebody just put out a poll. It was a leftist poll where that optimism is at a 10-year or something like that high at 44%. Of people thinking the country's headed in the right direction. You're in the minority if you think things are going wrong. Like, where have you guys been the last 4 years when things were incredibly expensive? Bidenomics is working. Yes, it is. It is making Biden and his minions extremely rich. You are correct. It is working. It ain't working for you, but it's definitely working.
Look, last thing before we cut out of here. This whole other idea, right? And I gotta tell you, I saw this and I'm gonna say it. I like my country like I like my tea, full of ice, brother. I gotta have it like that. This is what we talking about right here. This is the word. Yeah, them days of playing with you, the days of playing games with you is over. The days of us allowing violent, illegal, undocumented, whatever words you
narrative that needs to be taken care of real quick. We're going to just deal with this narrative real fast. ICE is not running around picking up abuela. They're not running around. They're not
grabbing grandma, bro.
They're not doing that. Now, y'all guys have to stop saying ICE is running around grabbing immigrants. That just is not the case. They are grabbing criminal, illegal migrants with extremely dangerous records. So if you were a pedo in Venezuela or one other country and you had charges and your ass got up out of there, and you made your way here because they was like, we're a sanctuary city, we getting you up out of here because you ain't going to be over here just taking advantage of kids over here. And they'd have caught a few of them. They caught
a lot of them.
They've
caught. Yeah.
So the point that we don't have to go deep into that, but my point is that we want you guys to be careful about the narratives you subscribe to. We want you to Listen to what they're saying, but do not let that become information. Let it become information once you've researched it yourself. Leave it at the data point. So you guys are suggesting this is your data? Let me research your data before I'm informed by it. That's what we're asking you to do. That's what we do here at the Urban Conservative. We'll listen. We'll listen to what you have to say or your policy position. We'll go back and research that. We'll go back and make sure, look at both sides of an argument or both sides of an issue, and then rationalize what the next step is or what we're going to make this subscription to. And that doesn't happen often in politics. So I'll leave it there, bro.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as always, you've been checking out the Urban Conservative Podcast. Make sure you visit our website, tuconservative.com. That is where, yes, sir, what you got?
Go ahead. I just want to, before you end off, I want to make sure everybody knows that if you're in the town of Southampton, tomorrow is a special election for Southampton Town Council. This is what we need to do. We need to get you guys out to vote. If you're in the town of Southampton and you have not done early voting, please take your behind to your polling location tomorrow. Make sure you get out and vote, and you're voting for Rick Martel for Southampton Town Council. Again, that's Rick Martel. He'll be on the ballot as Richard Martel, but Martel for Southampton Town Council. That's it.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, tuconservative.com, where you can go get your ads. You can also sponsor the platform.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. We did not say that at the
we didn't even say Happy St. Patty's Day at all.
We didn't even do the you take the little road and I'll take the high road.
The whole road and I'll be in Scotland before the year. Me and my true love will never meet again on the bunny banks of Loch Lomond. There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you've been checking out the Urban Conservative Podcast. My twin brother, Raheem, Architect Soto, Abdul Ali. We'll catch y'all live and direct next Monday night. Looking forward to it. Peace and love, everybody. Have a good night. Peace, peace, peace. The Urban Conservative is sponsored in part by Gyra Family Farms, providing your family with fresh meat, eggs, poultry, produce, and so much more. Visit GyraFamilyFarm.net to find out about their summer farm camp program, events and classes, and their exclusive Farm Share membership, which will give you 15% off all your purchases. Again, visit GyraFamilyFarm.net to find out more.